Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. I am here with the incredibly talented filmmaker Martin McDonagh, this time for his movie, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I always want to say Montana, but I have to go, no, it's Missouri.
Missouri.
Interesting, in Bruges and with 7 Psychopaths, you have this eclectic array of characters that we empathize with, that we really tap into. They're very strong central characters. And once again here, especially with Frances McDormand, what draws you to that?
Well, just in the writing, I think if you're writing a very strong, fully rounded person, it allows you to take them anywhere. It allows you to throw them into a bar and she can be the toughest, coolest, most swear word ridden person in the room, and everyone has to deal with it. So as a storyteller, it gives you places to go to.
But it's interesting too, as you say, places to go to. This is a small town that I grew up in the States, I've never heard of. How much does that lend itself when you're almost in an isolated environment, because the characters you create are not stereotypes, they're not archetypes of people we think we know?
Yeah. Well, also, it's the backdrop of this small town is that it's a decent, hardworking, quite normal town where a crime has been committed outside of it that's horrible. But everyone agrees that it's horrible and would like for it to be solved, I'm sure. But the cops just aren't doing enough to solve it, or they can't, or they're whatever reason. But setting up a character like Frances's character to go against that is what's interesting, because they're in the right, and Woody Harrelson's character he's a decent man, he's in the right, he's trying, but that's not good enough for a person as strong as Mildred. So she's also sort of in the right too. And that's where the drama comes. 2 people who are quite strong, and are both in the right, who will not let up and who will just keep going to war until someone breaks.
Mm-hmm. And I love what you mentioned before about the police. I mean, obviously in the world today, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for, concern that maybe sometimes the police go a little too far in what their judgments are. But I thought what was really interesting here is that we see the extreme psychological effect of some of these policemen. They say what's on their mind,
mm-hmm.
and they admit that they're prejudiced right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
How important was that, not to have, oh, these 3 are really good and these 3 are really bad? It's everybody who's fighting this concern feels it.
Yeah. I think humanity, to try and find the humanity in everyone, not just in the supposed good guys, but in the slightly more concerning cops or people. So to be truthful to their backgrounds or to their issues, but not to judge as a storyteller or as a filmmaker, and to see if, I always bring my opinions on that stuff to the thing as a whole, but you shouldn't judge, certainly in the writing of a thing, you judge them as being all bad or all good, because life isn't like that. And I guess if we're going to find hope in those kinds of situations, we've got to see a little or a lot of each side if we can. That sounds very wussy. I mean, if I got shot by a cop, I wouldn't really think too much about his issues. But to see that there's potential for decency in everyone isn't a bad way to begin a story.
Last question for you. Hopefully you can have a little fun with it.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to put up 3 billboards
Oh, Jesus.
for an issue that was important to you, what would be the 3 billboards that you'd want to put up?
Okay. Well, I'm a vegetarian, and I know lots of people aren't, so I think I'd probably put something up that was kind of comical and humorous, but maybe get people to think a little bit about not eating little piggies a couple of days a week, or leave a lamb alone. Leave a lamb alone on a Friday.
He had to say lamb. You couldn't have said all the other animals.
But they're so cute. They're so cute, and they don't want to die.
No, but I'm not going to talk about how great they taste with mint sauce.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry I had to say that. Martin, again, congratulations on the movie. Really enjoyed
Thanks
it.
a lot.
And this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Thanks a lot.